I mentioned earlier how I recasted some remote actors with local ones. I didn't realize it at the time, but Metromind had also been cast, and that is her voice that you're hearing on the radio. I had given the voice of Metromind to a woman named Noni Craig, but I didn't know that this voice on the radio, and later on when you get to the train station you hear another voice, I didn't know that that was supposed to be Metromind either. And this was a voiceover that they had recorded by a remote actor way back when, and I was so used to it being there that I'd completely forgotten about it. And so just to cover our butts, we had to find the original actress and get her permission. We could have gotten it re-recorded, but we're running very close to the wire, and I thought it'd be quicker and easier to just ask her permission rather than getting it re-recorded. And it turned out the original actress had changed jobs, no one knew her email address, and on a whim, I just looked at the original file for these lines, and embedded in the properties was the words "by Miss Pudding." And I had no idea what that was, but I thought, well, maybe the actress calls herself Miss Pudding online. So I Googled the name, and sure enough, I found her. And I asked her permission, and bam, it was done. Ironically enough, 5 seconds after I figured this out, Mark, the writer, found her email address. So I wasted all that effort, but it's just a little funny story.
The wings of Urbani and his little trainee.
One of Ever Faithful's questions, totally unilluminating.
Failure? Failure?
You could also say it's a giant hole in her head.
Actually, with a 10% charge, you wouldn't even get that far.
Well, so it goes.
Oh, really?
Boss, we've got to find a way to distract Scraper so we can get out of here.
I can't with the cable in the way. You're right. What was I thinking, asking you to clean up after yourself?
If it cannot be rewritten, then perhaps it must be deleted entirely.
A power socket.
Is there anything else you could ask Gimbal, boss? Who needs a reason?
The last thing I want to do is get his attention.
So,
I have progressed.
Beyond that, I cannot say.
He encrypted part of his own logic so he wouldn't have to think about losing the war any longer.
Assad, its memory got wiped. Under the refuge rule, we are entitled to... Crispin, can you fly around the cable and push it off the street?
To what do I owe the pleasure? Do you think he bothered with chit-chat?
pot, meat, kettle.
No need to show it to her.
Maybe I'm just a sucker for flashing neon lights, boss, but I kind of want to check out that information kiosk.
I can't see it from here.
Probably because it's been sitting in sludge down in the underworks.
There was no virus.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Rather short.
A decryption module set to crack Urbanian military codes.
No, I must recover my motor so that I can dance with the harmony.
Metromind is a tyrant and a thief.
Arbiter does not want me back, does he?
Kill my friends?
So, what now, boss? If only there was some way we could bring the energy sensor to the junk pile, huh, boss? Then we could pinpoint the power source easily.
Oh, for some reason Goliath and Ever Faithful both called me Horus. Is that my name?
Boss, I need that arm.
But if none of them use the name Horus, what makes you think that's my name?
The challenge is yours, my modern friend.
Just build me a missile launcher and I'll get right on it. But if we did, we could harness the power of a black hole.
You knew all that, and you still thought you could rob me.
Seeing as how I'm on the outside now, sir, I figured I had to go pay restitution for shooting up the enemy HQ.
No reason. I suppose it makes sense that 3 little crazy robots would add up to one giant crazy robot. I hover a few feet off the ground.
Wait, it's actually a series of ultra-thin lenses stacked on top of each other.
Oswald was merely a tool with tools.
How droll.
Which was once so vast. You should stop drinking, Oswald.
Boss, do you think she's coming back?
I'll trade you this oil for some copper wiring. The truth is that repairing it was never impossible.
The city will suffer.
You again? What do you want?
It's Scraper's arm, covered in nails, scales, spurs, and spikes like barbed steel.
I am quite prepared to squash the necessary bugs.
Oh, don't mind Cornelius.
You must reunite with the others. You know that. I know it wasn't me. Wasn't the Horus.